Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome on in. Getting a later start than I wanted to, but you know, it is what it is. Let's let the screen here once I adjust everything. Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome. I hope everyone has had an excellent weekend so far, and everyone's healthy and happy, and all of those things. So, I've been working a little bit off camera here on the problem that we had last night, and I've decided to just punt. Absolutely just punt. Nothing's working right. Can't get the formatter to kick in. Even tried setting the default formatter to what I wanted, and it only worked on some pages and not all of them, which boggles my freaking mind. It actually worked on dates, but not on date time. I don't understand. There's some kind of weird voodoo mystic stuff happening here that is apparently just beyond my comprehension. So I've punted. I've gone back to just doing the free marker settings that we had, and I've gotten rid of, like, I tried this date format here and it only showed up on like one page. I don't understand why. The other pages look identical, and yet it was only that one that it worked on. So I am just going to kind of get this back to where it was. What I did, it's not ideal, but it's just like it was the easy fix that actually fixes it. Was I now set a property, server. I actually still have the server running here too, because I was working on this a little bit earlier. But I set a property on the command line. I set Java locale providers to set to compat, which is compatible, and then that gets rid of the nonsense formatting that we were seeing in the date formats coming back now in Java 21. And I don't know, of all the changes to make, that was probably the silliest change I feel like they've ever made when it comes to date time formatting. It's just like, it was so useless a change. Like, it's like there was nothing wrong with having a regular space there, and then someone just had to F it up, right? It's like, there was no reason for it. And they did it anyway. So it is what it is. We just can't use the CLDR stuff right now because of that formatting weirdness. And despite my best efforts, I could not get all the pages to format their dates properly, even though I set the default format to a certain thing. I don't know why all the pages didn't respond. It's just, I don't get it. Something weird's going on. Not only is something weird going on, but I noticed that the formatter, when I set up the formatter, it was getting called twice, which was very weird. I think I understand. Maybe that's what was going on. It was getting called twice, right? Because they had an if statement in there before, because they have an after property set. But I don't know why it was. I don't know why it was getting called a second time. It's just weird. Probably because I extended one that had the after property set. But I'm even seeing, it's not just that's getting called twice. I'm seeing the migration scripts seem to be getting called twice as well when the server starts up, and I don't quite know why that's happening. We'll see it in a second here when I build, because really it only needs to happen once, and for some reason it seems like it's getting called twice. And I'd like to try and track that down, because that, that's a performance thing, and that could be causing a lot of other weird stuff happening too, for all I know. So I want to see what is happening there and why. So if I go clean build here, and I have, let's see, where are we at? It's under conf, I think. Yeah, we have this liquid base runner, right? So I'm just going to put a breakpoint here and see how many times this gets called, and see if I can track down where the second call is coming from, because I think it is happening twice, and I'd like to try and resolve that if I can. Resolve that now rather than later, because that is definitely something that I will forget is happening, and at some point in time it'll come back and bite me in the ass. So let's go and we'll run this in debug mode. Okay, there's the first call. There's the second call. Where is this guy coming from? Invoke virtual. Listener start internal. Catalina starts. Stat server start internal. Huh. There's a third time it's being called. What is happening here? Wait a second. Why is that getting called so many times? Context refreshed event. I guess the context refreshed event is getting fired off more than a few times here. So is there... I only want this to go very beginning. So what other events do we have? There's an application context gets initialized or refreshed. Can I do, is there like a context sized event? Context started event. Event raised when an application context gets started. Maybe I should do that one. Maybe. Let's try that. And oops, I'm in debug mode here. I'm in debug perspective, I mean. Servers clean. Let's do this and clean that. Let's debug again. No, it didn't run at all. So that's not good. Didn't run at all, so context stopped. Context started. Let's see. Spring MVC, application startup event. Yeah, see, they're doing context refreshed event. But that's getting called multiple times for some reason. That's Spring Boot. Do not care about Spring Boot. This is Spring Boot stuff again. Pet server container customer. Context refreshed event. So what else going on here? Hey Tech, welcome on in. It's going good. Oh, you're just jumping into No Man's Sky? Yeah, I heard the latest what do they call it? The latest expedition has some fishing and stuff. So at some point I need to jump back into that. But yeah, that's cool. I'm doing good. How are you doing? Oh, the whole game is fantastic. Yeah, it's just as I said before, like every time I start No Man's Sky, I get like 3 hours in, and then I go do something else, and then I come back and I'm like, I need to start over again. I just keep starting over again with a new character every single time, and never getting past like the first 3 hours. And it's not because it's not a good game. It's just like it's there's that initial hump that for some reason I just need to get over, and I haven't been able to really do it. Yeah, you forget. Yeah, exactly. But there's also something about it where it's like there's a little bit of grinding at the beginning, and then eventually get to a point where it's not so grindy, but it's like for some reason getting over that initial phase has been really difficult for me in that game. I don't know why. Maybe it's like kind of sensory overload, because there's a lot of things you can do like right away. Maybe it's a little bit of that too. Trigger event when the web application is ready. Application ready event. I thought I tried these and they didn't quite work. Application. Application startup aware. Application. Huh. All right, cool. 5 to 7 hours, yeah. That sounds about right. That's what I need to do. I need to somehow stick to it for like 6 or 7 hours and just get over that initial startup cost. Hmm. Is it not giving me any? It does this every so often. It really drives me nuts where it doesn't give you any proposals, but there's clearly proposals there. Context started event. Context builder. Context refreshed event. Initialized or refreshed. Let's see something here. So, spring context refreshed event called multiple times. Fired multiple times. In certain cases, like enabling binding on Spring app, enabling binding, it's called multiple times. Only be fired once, and that'll be fired 5 times. You need to check for your specific application contexts. Oh, I see. So I'm getting it for every single application context that's firing up, not the one that I care about. That's it's a bit crazy pants, but okay. So, on application event. Classes attributes. This can be application event instances. It's probably an internal non-void return type. Handling asynchronous listeners, ordering listeners. If I say, if I put a parameter here, do I get it? I think I get it. So then I can say, so I need the application context. Private application contexts. And then I would say if event dot get application context, is that what they did? Equals. Okay. Okay. So let's see if that means it'll only get run once. I'll leave the breakpoint here on that line. What's it saying? Application context seems to be unrelated to application context. No, I think they're I think they're related. All right. Let's do clean. Now let's clean our work directory up here and go back in debug mode. Now it didn't run at all. Okay. It's got a stack trace. Error creating bean with name, like a base runner. Oh, it is the wrong application context. What the hell? Oh, give me a Apache cap. What the frig? What the frig? That warning I got was correct. I should have heeded that warning instead of just saying what the hell's going on here. Okay, let's try that again. And debug. Okay, there it went in that time. It's there again. And a third time, a fourth time. Okay. So that doesn't help. That's definitely not fired only once. So now what? As context refresh event called twice. So here's a child context. Second is for that context. Use event get application context. Find out which context the event is for. Using either the ID or display name property of the application context, I can now distinguish between the two events. If you auto-wire the app context, you can compare the app context versus one of the event. Context By casting context, refresh event, get source to application context, and then calling get display name, get ID on that. Different event listener. Okay, so hey, Brer. Yeah, a bit of a weird time today. I got a late start. I wanted to start a little bit earlier, but I was just I was ready to go at like 3 o'clock, and then my stomach was just like, oh, not having it. So I just kind of gave it a little bit of time, and then I'm back to it's okay now. So I don't know. It's weird. I've changed my diet a little bit, and I think I'm still in that transition phase where the stomach is you know, unhappy sometimes. But thankfully this one kind of went away relatively quickly. So ID or display name, property, and application context. Okay, so if I look at it's not just doing this, it's also get ID equals this dot AC dot get ID. Will that make it only go once? Because that would be useful. Ain't that bad when eating some foods very saucy. Yeah. Yeah, I've been like trying to do like protein shake every day to try to see if I can finally get myself to like lose weight finally and not just be hovering at the same weight despite exercising. And it may or may not be working. I'm not entirely sure yet, but there's definitely a transition period there where it's like you know, stomach was rebelling a bit. Okay, there's once. There's twice. 3 times. Yeah, it's just calling this multiple freaking times. For some reason, it just keeps refreshing the same. I just keep getting the same context refresh event for this guy. Wonder why that is. I mean, I'm sure it's just it's a spring thing, obviously, but how do I get it so that I only get this once? You were display name property. Context refresh find get source. Wait, get source? Wait a minute here, let's see. Spring is cruel, yeah. Exactly. Oh. You just gained some weight, took 10ish years, yeah. No, I had lost a lot about 10 years ago. 10, 11 years ago. And then ended up putting it all back on and then some. And that's been causing me problems. So I'm trying to like get better about that. Get source. See if that works better. Trying things here. I mean, if not, I mean, I can always just, it's probably faster for me to just put a static variable in here. And just set the true to say, yes, I've already run this. Because there's only going to be one, this is a spring thing, so it's only going to be one instance of it running. Or one instance of it that exists. It's probably a lot faster than doing what I'm doing here. And cleaner, probably, but let's just see if this is the thing that will make it. So that's one time. Nope, 2, 3, 4. Alright, screw it. We're just going to put a variable in here to say that we ran. That's infuriating that it's just like they don't have an event that works that just fires off once. Because the other events just weren't happening. What was it? Contexts. Let's see. Spring contexts. Started event. Not fired. Every time instead of context started event. Yeah, there we go. Application context start. Publish where the application context is start using the start method on the configurable application context interface. Start here means that all lifecycle beans receive an explicit start signal. Typically, the signal is used to restart beans after explicit stop. Stopped. So started is never getting fired now. Application context, demonstrating. So, because it seems refresh code is getting invoked. Yeah, but it's called 1,000 freaking times. This one, Spring Tea on a similar issue. Context start event is being published, but it is before any beans are registered, so it's already happened by the time your context start listener component is created. You can use the Spring application to add listeners if you want to listen for early events. Oh, so by the time it does by the time it fires up my add component, it's already started. That makes sense. That's why I can't listen for the started event. Unless I add it as a listener. Yeah, I'd have to add it as a listener directly on startup. I wonder if that's the better solution here. Well, my problem is, though, I need the data source already. So I can't really listen to the startup because it's before any beans have come into play. And I need a data source bean and everything already here. So that's why I have to do the refreshed event. Alright, well then let's see if I can do a private static boolean has run. Okay. And let's see if this works a little bit better. So that breakpoint there, right? Okay. All right, we'll see what we got here. Talk all day about workouts and weights, yeah. Change your shift hours. Hope that these are better. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully you can get some better hours there, so you're not, you know, walking zombie or anything like that. You know, that's always hard. Shift work is never fun unless you've got a 9 to 5 normal shift. What the hell? How is this still? How's this still getting called multiple times if I put a freaking boolean there? I literally set it to true. What? So that means if this is running, wait a second. So then it's completely, you're taking off your 9 to 5, the wild 2 years. Oof, yeah. You can imagine. means there's multiple. That doesn't make sense. Is there a delay? I mean, it's a static, so every instance of this should have the static set. So somehow spinning up, closing down, and then spinning it up again? Because it's getting the default of false again? I am massively confused by that. Because this is a singleton. Yeah, this is declared as a singleton. So even if it was spinning up multiple copies of it, they would still all have the same static variable. So, okay, maybe multiple. Why would there be? I mean, there could be multiple copies of it across multiple threads, but why would that be? That doesn't make any sense. I'm missing. There's something fundamentally weird that I'm missing here. And I feel like I've configured something wrong somewhere along the way that's causing all this chaos here. Which right now is not hurting much because it's not taking long for the server to start up, but it's... I would like to do things right. I would like to do things correctly. If possible. This is our initializer. So that would mean it's running. So it's running 4 times. So that would be for the web config. All right, that's 1. 2 for the DB config. 3 for the application config. And what's the, and I guess the 4th time is when it actually does the init? The initial init here? If I had another class, it would do it 5 times? very strange. It's very strange. You know what? Just for shits and giggles. Can I not do that? Transient and volatile are per minute. No, I have to make it final then. Oh. I don't want to make it final. I wish there was a way in Liquibase to determine if I'd already run. And to not run again. I mean, when I do the update execute, it detects that that it's already updated and doesn't do anything, but it has to go and read the changelog file and everything else. I'm trying to avoid that startup cost. Not that it's a huge cost, but it's still not insignificant. Timestamp when it occurred. Application context of the event was raised. That doesn't help me though. It's not helping me. Alright, instead of I know this is weird, but let's just do an instant. I'm not going to set it to anything. And I'll just say if last run is null. I mean, yeah, is null or or last run. Is before now. Well, I should say if yeah, no, that's an or. If it's no or, it's before now. And this would really be if it's not is before now. It doesn't really make any sense. I mean, I don't know how that's going to make any difference over what I already just did, but I'm grasping at straws here. One. Yeah, it just keeps on going through there. What's the idea on that one? Application context. Is there another thing I can look at? ID. Explaining root web application context. They all say root web application context. That one does. That one does. Yeah, they all say the same thing. Okay. Okay. There's some screwballness going on here. And I'm sure it makes sense somewhere along the line. But how do I make it so that this is one and done? I wonder if the event itself, like the event itself has a time in it. And I wonder if that's the same. Like it's firing the event off 4 times at the exact same time. Or if there's a delay there. And I'm only seeing a delay, because of the debugging. So timestamp is 1725745. Let's copy this. Eight, 6, 7, 5, 4. Five, 6, 7, 5. Okay, so all these. So this event is just getting fired 4 times immediately in rapid succession. Because now that timestamp is different there. But then it's fired again for that same timestamp. That's crazy. So it's like double firing. It's double firing the context refreshed event at the same instant. So even if I looked at the event time and stored that off somehow, I would still get to, it would still run twice because the event time is exactly the same. So let me think here. And they're all being fired off for the root application contexts. Web application startup. MVC. Application startup using Spring MVC. Initializing bean, post constructs, application listener, contact refreshed events. Cycle interface. Context refreshed event. Also use the event lister annotation to observe context refreshed event. That's what I'm doing, but it's Hey. Context loader listener. That's the old way of doing it. Wait, they're doing it. He has context closed event. Context closes when you're shutting down, right? Isn't that when that gets fired off? Context closed event. This is closed. That's not helping. Here multiple times while the context has not been closed. Refresh method. Event. Context stop. Context close. Using the close method. In reality, after closing context, we cannot restart it. Context reaches the end of life on closing it, and hence we cannot restart. Yeah, that's what I thought. Just turn application listener. Event listener. Run only once. Only invoke once. One of those. Get context per dispatcher servlet. No, I don't have more than one of those. ETX get namespace he's doing. Is there a get namespace on there? Wait a second. I don't think so, not anymore. Get application name? Um, I don't know if that'll be any different from what I've been looking at, but event, was it application name? Packages, conf, same thing. Display name. Let's see anything in there that I can actually use. Base packages are the same. Why is that? Why is that doing that? Just out of curiosity, let's see what Copilot dreams up here. How can I ensure my run migrations method only runs once? Currently it is running multiple times. Yeah, because on the cozy says, no, that's fine. This is not an easy thing here. I have a feeling it's something that just no one has really tried to do. 2 times in. Okay, one way to ensure that run migrations method only runs once is to add a Boolean flag that checks that the migrations have already been run. They have the method will return immediately. Private say Boolean migrations run false. If migrations run return. I mean, that's faster than what I had. Migrations run equals true. I mean, I could try it again, but it's hilarious. I already know that this isn't going to work. Let me try it. There's once. And we're back in again twice. 3 times, 4 times. You can see even logging all those times too. Just out of a sanity check here. Let me run this in non-debug mode. One run. There's 2 runs. You can see at least happening twice there. Yeah, Copilot is stumped on that one. As I figured it might be. Because I'm stumped on that one too. I don't know why that's... Still managing to run 2 times here when I've set that. wonder if... I wonder if it's somehow getting deployed twice. And why is that deploying to 8080? Is it somehow... It shouldn't be configured twice here. Got server port 6005. I do have 8080, but it redirects to 6443. Okay, well, thanks for stopping by, Premier. Have a good night. 6443. Wait a second. Do I have... that shouldn't make it. That shouldn't be doing anything, though. I get the feeling like it's deploying like 2 copies of it. Web apps auto deploy. True. Yeah, there's a root folder here with a WebXML in it. And I don't know why. And WTP web apps also has a root in it. All right, take care. Cat web XML. You shut this down for a second. And let's get rid of the temp and work directories. All right. Let's see here. Let's do a clean build. And start. Yeah, it's still running multiple times. There should be nothing over here now. Just the root that came back. Okay. There's nothing there deployed now. So add and remove. Go. No, it's still doing it. Still doing it at least twice. Alright, I don't understand why I can't get this to stop running multiple times here. weird because it's weird. It's not weird because I think it's just rebuilding this class. I mean, it has to be. It has to be throwing it away and then rebuilding it. I'm seeing it happen. Oof. And that's why I'm seeing 2 calls happen. Let's see here. Someone else come up with something. Spring MVC startup. That's not working. Um, yes, servlet listener. Yeah, this is what I was kind of using as my basis. There was some reason. Oh, I couldn't use the listener for some reason. As I recall, I had a problem with that, which is why I went and did my own runner. I think it's because I needed I think it's because I needed the data source already built. That's why I couldn't do that. Yeah, because I'm using the H2 database, which you need to fire up first before this tried to run, because the database was not the servlet listener. That's right. The servlet listener was assuming the database was already started, and it wasn't started yet. That's why I went down this path. Maybe that's what I should do. Because I have the thing that starts the H2 database, right? Yes, I had this commented out code that wasn't running. Jakarta DB starter. Location initialization process is starting. Servlet context listener. I think maybe I should just go with the servlet context listeners. Because this has... Whoops, that's all I want to do. Context loader, listener, root contexts. I wonder if I, because what I'm thinking is, if I could fire off an event here, when this starts. Turn the connection. What does this need? So I'm using the data source to get the connection, but I have a connection there. So I'm wondering if it's beneficial for me to just extend the Jakarta DB runner thing, grab the have it run its through its normal stuff, and then at the end grab the connection, run liquid base, and then it's done, and it's only going to run it once. And it's not based on the context refreshed event. might be the way to go. Yeah, let me take a 2-minute break. I gotta take a bio break here. And I will be right back after stretching everything else too. And then I think we'll try this. I'll leave the runner here, but I'll try moving this code over into a listener and have that listener do its thing. I think. So yeah, let me do that. I'll be right back. Hang tight, friends. Okay, I'm back, friends. All right, let's see if we can try something out here. So what is the name of it? Jakarta DB starter. Okay. So come over here, we'll do new class. Start DB and run migrations. DB starter. We extend. Alright, and override implement methods. I think just the context initialize I need to override. There we go. Call super on it, which is correct. And then come in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the act component from this. Oh, because I have the app source version. What am I doing with that? I'll have to put that somewhere else. That's fine. I'll put that. I just kind of shoved it in there, but we'll put it somewhere else. And really all I need is this part here. Void run migrations. Get a logger here, private static vinyl logger, logger factory, loggers for this class. Get rid of that reference. And here we'll just call get connection. And then we'll just say run migrations. Running database migrations. Okay, so we have that in there, and then I can say here I don't need Liquid-based runner anymore. I just need I just need something to update the version. Just say new class version update runner. Nope, that's not what I want. And we'll say it's public void updates version. Let's get these in here. Listener, contexts, refreshed events. Set version, source version. Right, that's what was over here, right? Yeah, alright. And I don't need to put order on that. Alright, so get rid of, delete that. And over here, I'll say new start DB and run migrations. There. All right. Let's see what this gets me. Let me. I shouldn't have to debug this because I'm pretty sure it's only running once, but I'm going to debug it anyway. Just to be absolutely certain. Okay, it's hit it. It's hit again. But I think that's not really a... No, it's hitting it again. Why am I seeing that hit so often? That does not make any sense. I am just flabbergasted here. Version update runner. Manage bean. What is going on here? 1849. That was before, right? No, that was this time around. What is happening? Running database migration. Okay. Start DB and run migration. So that ran. Start DB and run migrations. Scan file. Or because not matching a filter, that's correct. I only see one entry for it here, so why did it run? Why does it run multiple times? Here. Wait, am I seeing old 649, 648? No, this is all the same run. I don't understand why that would be going twice. And I suspect the 4 times that I'm seeing might be something to go with, something funky with the debugger, but sort of context initialized. So or receive if you declared so web listener. The web application, annotate it with web listener or just review when you add listener methods on sort of context, yeah. Context initialized methods in order which they've been declared and at their context destroyed method in reverse order. Context destroyed, context initialized. That's what's weird. Wait. Database. Database is up to date. No change sets to execute. It's definitely getting, it definitely looks like it's getting run twice. Based on the log messages, but Why would that be? Yeah, it's definitely happening twice. But since I'm in here, I'm in a server context listener. I'm in a regular thing here. I could say, let me try the boolean here. Let's say private static boolean has run false. If has run turn I'm also wondering if I don't understand. Like, this definitely looks like it's getting called twice, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just really crazy and wild. It still is. Well, it's still printing out twice. Which suggests it's running twice, but I don't. I'm not entirely sure here because let me just do logger info. Let's move this down. Nope, not there. Info. Tweets. Okay, I mean, that still looks like it went twice, but I'm gonna look in the log here. So running database migrations was 1848, so that was an old one. 1849, 1857, 754. So running database migrations. 1859. Here we go, 1901. Running database migrations. Migrations complete. Running database migrations complete. It is calling it twice. Why? Why is that getting called twice? It's getting called when the context is initialized. Servlet context is initialized, which means that the two servlet contexts are getting initialized. Which I find a bit strange, but I mean, maybe it's not that strange. Mm-hmm. I wonder, so I'm giving it dispatcher servlet the root context. I'm also giving a context loader listener root context. I wonder if that's what's causing the double firing. See, that takes about application context as well. I guess it's. I mean, that might mean that I'm firing up 2 copies of every bean. I bet that's what's happening. I bet I'm getting 2 copies of every single bean, which is not useful. I mean, I can only access 1 copy at a time, but it's. Server context servlet config objects will be delegated application context. Context has already been refreshed, does not implement name level occur. Your servlets. Application, okay. I think this is where I've gone wrong here. When we assign to it, the given context does not already have a parent. The root application context will be set as the parent. I feel like I should have another context I spin up that's not the root context. And that's why I'm getting like duplicate stuff firing off when I shouldn't be. Because they're all pointing at the same context. And it's like reinitializing the same context over and over again, which is not necessary or correct. So see something here. Spring text loader listener and dispatcher servlet same context. Of web application context. Yeah. Clutter all the beans in one config file. Here, Spring Security, I want to include all those beans. Yeah, okay. None of these exist. It's all the other context files. Web application context. There's no need to have a root web application context. It still have its own. Need to have a parent. Okay, web components. Yeah, that's my understanding of it too. I think I have caused the very problem that I'm, well, I mean, obviously I've caused the very problem I'm looking at for. So here's the question. So I have web config. Just doing a component scan on that. So I think what I want to do. But the DB and application config can be in here. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna reorganize this. I think I know what's going on here, and it's the thing that's boggling my mind right now, and I think I understand what I did wrong here. So we'll do conf back end, and I'm gonna take these. All those, I'm going to move those to back end. And then we're going to do new package end. Move this to the front end. Okay, and then in actually the init could go just back up in conf, I think, because it's not an actual bean. That back up there. There we go. All right, and then this will be, so that'll be the root contexts, right? Which will be Magenta Breeze will be scanning conf backend. All right, and then down here, this will be web contexts. And this will scan front end only. And that will be passed into the dispatcher servlet here. Now, I think it'll automatically figure out the root contexts. But just in case, web contexts, set parent root contexts, just to be absolutely positive that we have access to all that stuff. Yeah, let me try something here. All right, project clean. This will quite possibly break every goddamn thing, but we'll see. Clean. Yes. And debug. It's called once. Twice. Being called again. So I still have some spillover there. Why do I have spillover? Let me make sure the app is still running correctly though. No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not happy. Um, what am I? I'm looking at the right thing here. Scanning that. Off right front end. And that's scanning front end here, which is correct. And then this one's scanning back end, which includes application config, which is doing Magenta back end, which is correct. Database config is not doing any scan. That's also correct. And the rest of these are not. These are just runners and stuff. Okay, so stuff is separated. But now I'm betting, although there's no error here, which is, I would expect, let me see what the log says. I wonder if this is due to me undeploying and redeploying here. Hang on. Modules. Yeah. Okay, wait a minute here. Stop this for a second. Okay, yeah. That was just due to that. All right. But this stuff is still working now. Okay. So, in theory, I have them separated. In practice, I think I'm still seeing that go off multiple times, right? Yeah, that thing is still firing off multiple times. Though I wonder now if I was doing the context refreshed event, if it would have, if it's now got a different application context. Probably does. Um, Still doesn't really explain to me why. I mean, I guess there's 2 copies of this listener being fired up, which I don't understand why it would do that. If I only have 1 copy running. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to look at the init here. Component classes is input, in particular configuration classes, but also playing component classes as well as component classes using Jakarta inject annotations. It's essentially the equivalent of annotation config application context for a web environment. However, in contrast, this class does not extend generic application context and therefore does not provide some of the convenient register bean methods available in generic application context. Register annotated component classes of generic in a web environment. You may use generic web application context. Annotated bean definition reader. Annotation config application context. What does this do? Standalone application context accepting component classes as input. Particular configuration. Mention classes. As well as for class pass scanning using scan. B methods. We'll override those in once. Doesn't take annotation, config, application context. Application context. Okay. So that explains why I did that. Well, I think this is, despite everything else, I think this is the more correct way of doing it. And I guess, yeah, I mean, now listener, I guess it makes sense. That's firing off multiple times because it's just looking for context initialized. But I don't. Still a little stumped as to why I can't stop it from running a second time. That's what's got me stumped there. I don't know. But, I mean, stuff is working. I just wish it was working a little bit better. Like, I don't like having it do things twice or three times when it doesn't need to do that twice or three times. I mean, ultimately, it's not hurting anything at the moment, but it still bothers me a lot. I mean, this is that moment where it's like, well, I mean, I guess that's the real question right now does there continue to be a benefit to me running the war file I mean, I think it's still beneficial to be running the war file separately. Because obviously in the real McCoy, it's going to be going from the embedded Jetty server. And when I've got the embedded Jetty server, I could move some of these things up there a little bit. Like I could fire up the database manually before before the server even starts up, instead of relying on a servlet to do it. Not that there's anything wrong with the servlet doing it right now. And then I can be assured that I'll just do migrations only once, because I'll fire up the database, and when I get the response back saying it started, then I'll immediately do the migrations and not have them as, and not even have Spring know anything about them. And then I know that they only run once and everything's good. The only problem with that is I now have to, every time I make a change, I have to launch the launcher and go through that extra step, whereas right now I can just run the servlet container and you can just run Tomcat and it'll be there. Which I think is, I mean, it's nice in that I can test things in isolation. Like, if it's not going to work on Tomcat, it's not going to work on Jetty. That's for damn sure. And I can keep the other things sort of, I don't have to keep modifying anything over there. Of course, I suppose if I had just bit the bullet and did Spring Boot from the very beginning, that would spin up its own embedded Tomcat server and stuff for me. But I just don't want to. That's a whole other ball of wax that I don't want to deal with. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to get this down to the lowest common denominator and trying to make it not take up a whole lot of memory and run really quickly and all that stuff. And the web server, I mean, if I had made it just a straight fat app in Swing, which I could have done, I could have just spun up the Jetty server and just had like only the parts I need there, only the controllers I needed for that. I mean, I would still need all Spring and all that stuff in there, most likely. I mean, I could have done like straight JSPs and stuff, I guess, but, or I could have, I mean, there's advantages to having a server running when it comes to like events and stuff like that, but ultimately I could probably just have written HTML files to the disk and have those and just update those every time something happens. Although I don't know how good OBS is at refreshing that stuff automatically when it changes. So having a server there is more of a guarantee that it'll refresh properly when new events and stuff come in. I don't know. I still feel like I've got the right approach for now. I think I have the more flexible approach because, you know, most of the logic is contained in a WAR file that can be deployed on its own without the launcher. The launcher's just there to, an installer is just there for convenience because I want this to run locally. But honestly, you could run this on a web server in the cloud and it would run. It wouldn't be very secure because I've taken a lot of liberties with things, but that's, you know, I can always lock it down and secure it, bring all the security stuff over. Bring Spring Security over and all that stuff, and have it work that way. Have it work like a Botrix or something like that. But that the reason I'm doing it a local thing is because, one, I feel like it gives me more flexibility as far as features are concerned. In some cases, there's other cases where it's not so flexible, but I think it gives more flexibility for like being able to fire off hotkeys and stuff like that if I can figure out how to do it. But more importantly, from like a legal perspective, when you've got like Stream Elements and you've got Botrix, you got all these things that where you upload assets to them. Most streamers are uploading copywritten assets, right? They may only be like a second or two in length, but they're still copywritten, and then all that stuff is just sitting on your servers, and you're just asking to get DMCA'd at some point. And so by having it local, I don't have to deal with any of that crap. You can do whatever the hell you want because it's just local on your machine, and no one else can see it except you. And then obviously when it plays in the browser, when it plays in OBS browser source. So I think I still have the right approach there. I'll just have to iterate a little. I'll have to come back to some of this. I think I'm gonna put this aside and say it's good enough right now. As far as like the database stuff, I actually kind of like this a little bit better than I did the event listener. Even though the event listener was kind of nice, I think I like this a little bit better. Doing it this way. And what I want to do is come back, and I want to get back to the chat stuff. I need to tackle getting the combined chat going, as well as doing the screen scraping stuff for YouTube, which I think is going to be... I don't know. It might be a nightmare. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at the moment, but I think it's going to be necessary given their API limitations and everything else. I think it's going to be necessary to scrape, to screen scrape events and chat messages, rather than try to grab them through the API. Submitting chat messages I'll probably still do through the API. It's like if your bot sends like a message every so often, probably do that. But as far as receiving chat, which I think is the more important thing, and receiving events, which are the more important thing, I just can't rely on YouTube's API to do that, because the API credits are so restrictive on those things. So if I can just have a copy of the page running in the background and just let Google's code run Google's API, and then just listen for the fetch events as they come in, and just parse out the JSON blobs and all that stuff that I saw on the page, then maybe I can just... that would be probably more reliable from the streamer's perspective, because at least then we're not burning API credits, so we're letting the pop out chat do what the pop out chat does, and I can be, the streamer can be assured that they're not missing events and they're not missing chat messages, which is far worse than not being able to send a chat message, like an automated chat message or something like that. I would say, in the grand scheme of things. So we'll see. That's going to be I think the next struggle here on Monday, because my my brain's a little bit cooked right now. Let's commit what I've got. What did I change over here? I changed something in the palm. I don't know what I changed. I'll commit that. Let's commit what we got. That. So application context changes, moves, database migrations to extended class for servlets. Consider need to figure out why objects are getting called times. Okay. We'll commit that. Good stuff. Do we have any? I have way too many things open here. Let's go and purge a whole bunch of tabs here. There we go. It's just it gets to a point of I just can't follow what's going on anymore. Yeah, let's see if there's oh, I gotta commit that other thing too. What am I doing? Commit this team, commit. Yeah, what did I change here? Oh, that's right. I went to Java 21. That's right. Upgraded to Java 21. I just forgot to commit it yesterday. There we go. And now we'll see what we got. Hand pressed Spring Framework goes to 6.1.12. What's the likelihood that they actually fixed the bugs that I've been running into? Slim to none. Release notes. Count editor cannot parse language. Stops accepting tasks. Bug fixes. E-tag. REST clients. Bring entity language. JAX-B encoder. See, observation for JMS listener. Memory leak and WebFlux application. Support invoking bridging. Okay, so nothing that I care about. Alright, that's fine. Tis fine. Oh, I'm not even signed in. What's going on here? It's like wondering why I don't have any actions there. Alright. Hang on 1 second while I sign back in to the old GitHub. Where are you at? There we go. All right, I can bring that back up now. Cool. Pull requests. We will accept that and merge it. And same for this. Zec Maven plugin, yeah, that's fine. H2 database updates pretty significantly. 2.2.24 to 2.3.232. Okay. And it didn't really, it had had a problem actually getting anything there. All right. Okay, this will be interesting. See what happens there. Cool, and then check style plugin, certainly. We can update that. Okay, so we got everything on the war. So what about main projects? Check style, sure. Fail safe plugin, yep. Dependency plugin. Back classic. Okay. Even check style. All right, that's good. So I should be able to just pull those down. Have them ready to go. Oh, this is still, the server's still running. Go and pull those. Excellent. Cool. Okay. I think we're good for right now. Yeah. So we'll come back to this. We'll do. I think we'll jump back to doing the actual chat stuff. On Monday night, and see what we can do there. I should be back in. What time is it? It's almost 8 p.m. my time. I should be back in about 2 hours. Doing some gaming. I'll see if Shin and everybody is up to doing some multiplayer stuff. If not, I'll still probably be back on my own, doing whatever game I feel like at that point. And then tomorrow, I was going to play Test Drive Unlimited, despite hearing all the server problems and stuff. It sounds like they've fixed a lot of their server problems and stuff. I didn't really have any to begin with, but I didn't go that far into it. But I don't know. I think I might play Star Trucker instead. Just because I'd like to make some progress in that game, because that's one of those games where the first couple hours are really, really rough. And then eventually you kind of get to a point where everything's starting to fall into place. So I want to see if I can. I want to see if I can get over that initial hump in that game. I think because that's one of those games where I had debated just doing it as a YouTube series, but that's kind of a hard sell as a YouTube series, right? Because it's not really there's not a lot going on. It's it's American Truck Simulator essentially in space kind of thing. So I think it's better as a stream thing potentially. So we'll see there on that. I think I'll do that. And then maybe we'll push off Test Drive Unlimited for later. Come back to that at some point. I think that's what's going to happen. Anyway, that's it for me right now, my friends. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Hope everyone has an excellent morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on what it is for you. And hope to see you back here again in the future for some more stuff, whatever happens to suit your fancy. Until then, see ya, bye.
Oopsie.